Welcome to the Alpha Team League Semi-Pro Semifinals. In the top left corner of Simulacrum, as the Blue Protoss, playing for Team Gosu, it's Ris3n.
And down in the bottom right-hand corner, representing Ris3n Competitive, it is Bowman. I'm excited, Renegade. This is a double semi, dude. It's the Semi-Pro semi-final. Okay.
Sounds like those semis are giving you a semi here, Revolt.
I almost made
right.
that joke, but I thought it was inappropriate. I'm glad you did.
This is, my friend here, Revolt, captain of the Ris3n Competitive team.
We'll only tell him that if we win, okay?
You're right. If not, Kasai's captain.
Thought it was Kasai, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, but I'm very excited about this. I mean, obviously, our two teams are kind of joined at the hip a little bit via our pro team. Ris3n actually recently switched from Ris3n to Team Gosu, so like this, I mean, we're friendly, but if anything, I think that makes it more competitive, you know? You want to beat your friends.
Yeah. I think, Bowman is the stronger all-around player here, but Ris3n can definitely punch up and beat anybody with his Blink Stalker Micro. It's all really going to depend on how Bowman's feeling today and what kind of tilt Ris3n's experiencing.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
this first map.
Yeah, I mean, Ris3n's micro, when he's on his game, is just absolutely beautiful to watch. But I think you're right, Bowman is a very experienced player. He's played in the pro division before, so, he knows what it takes to win. And again, it's a PvP as well, which throws a whole nother layer of kind of like, well, what's going to happen to it? So far, it looks like we're seeing fairly standard openers. The Sentry Stalker into double Stalker here for Bowman. That's going to let him get out that hallucination really fast, but they're both just taking expansion.
Yeah, and there's the second Sentry here from Bowman. He's just going to look to defend as he drops some kind of tech. Ris3n sticking... no, he's getting a Sentry out now too. However, he is getting pretty aggressive with these first Stalkers, but, I mean, this is not meant to cause game-ending damage. This is just kind of a check on what Bowman's defending with, what he's building, and he might get the Hallucinated Phoenix. In fact, he will.
That's a big deal. Sniping that Hallucinated Phoenix is a big deal. He's going to shut down the scouting, and now he's going to put on a little bit of pressure. It looks like you should be able to keep him off until the shield battery finishes. Oh,
the shield battery is not looking too healthy.
Oh, he cancels. Oh, he cancels it, but he gets a Stalker, so that's going to ward away the pressure.
Yeah, I would say if you look on paper that Bowman definitely came out ahead there, but he lost the hallucination, so he's not going to know about this Twilight Council. He's not going to know about the Blink being chrono boosted out, at least for a little while.
Yeah, one of the things to go into here, and I know this because I haven't won yet, I am the captain. One of the things I talked to Bowman about when he asked me was, he is aware that Ris3n does have his proclivity towards his Blink Stalkwards, and I expressed how good he is with them, so he does have a little bit of an idea of stylistically how his opponent wants to play, but he is still denied that scouting until now this second hallucination comes in. He's going to see pretty much anything. This many Stalkers with the Twilight and the Robo, I mean, it's got to be a Blink opener.
Yep, so now it's just how well Bowman can prepare for this oncoming pressure from Ris3n. He's quite content to continuing to pump out probes here. He is a couple supply ahead in that department, but Ris3n's going to be looking to get damage done. He hasn't started up a Warp Prism yet, which is a little bit interesting, but sure to come. There's an Observer. This might just be an Observer for high ground vision. Remains to be seen if and when that Warp Prism comes out, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's a Robo, a Star, and a Stargate coming out here from Bowman, and it's a relatively late Stargate. Looks like he's going to get 2 Adepts with this Proxy Pylon to see if he can maybe sneak a little bit of damage done across the map, but I'm very interested to see what he does with this. Oh no, the Stalkers are heading out right as these Adepts go in. Looks like they are going to turn around. But either way, I feel like that's pretty good for both.
I feel like this is exactly what Bowman was hoping for with these adepts. They weren't actually to cause damage. I mean, it creates a situation where Jennison either has to pull back and engage it, or just eat a ton of probe deaths. 2-3 stalkers going after 2 adepts means he's going to lose like 5 to 6 workers even while that damage is pounding out on him. But Jennison finally ready to make his move out, and there's 1 shield battery and a ton of sentry energy here to defend for Bowman.
Yeah, and now that he bought that time, that means there's an Immortal now, and Immortals pack a huge punch against Oh, 3 more gateways. There's the Robo Bay for Jennison. He is going to be trying to get up those Disruptors. Right now it's a little micro dam. And so far, Jennison showing us why he has that reputation for micro, not letting any of those Stalkers.
A beautiful snipe on that shield battery, picking off a Zealot as well, essentially for free. And Jennison's expanding behind this.
Oh, he picks up the Observer as well. Oh my goodness. This is impressive here from Jennison, not losing really anything here. But Bowman, to his credit, is holding on. That second Immortal is going to be out soon as well. Charge is on the way. And Stalkers are great, but once Charge Lots and Immortals are on the field, they really don't start to not have enough DPS to deal with stuff.
I feel kind of like Bowman needs to start using the energy on these sentries to swing things in his favor. Force a couple extra blinks. There it is.
Yeah, the problem is, like you said, though, if he uses that, then Jennison can just blink away. Now, I feel like he's just got to try and hold on here till he can get Archons and Charge, because then the composition kind of sways back into his favor. It looks like Jennison has got that 3rd base up, whereas Bowman's isn't started, and he's content with that damage it's going to back. +2, about even on both of these guys. The first Disruptor is almost done here for Jennison.
Okay, 4 high temps on the field. They're going to become 2 Archons, and with that, I think Bowman has a much better chance of holding.
Yeah, I think Bowman is going to try and break this contain and then, like, smash across them.
He does have some more energy on these Phoenix, which does mean lift on those injured Stalkers, which means, of course, they can't blink away while they're in the air, contained in that containment field.
Also, I mean, the thing about those Phoenixes, and I think it might be a meta play, I mean, he knows that Jennison really likes those Disruptors. Phoenixes are the go-to counter to Disruptors, because if you lift them after they shoot the ball, it doesn't matter if the Phoenix dies, that is a cancel on that Disruptor ball. And I feel like Jennison is going to have a real hard time holding this. He's going to be relying on Disruptor shots, but if those Disruptor shots gets canceled, he's kind of in a huge amount of trouble.
Jennison finally forced away here. Now, while all this was happening, he snuck out an additional 10 probes and he got his 3rd up and running. Bowman, with his, just started here at around like the 850 mark is when he dropped it down, but he should hold against any further aggression from Jennison here for at least a little while.
Yeah, and I love the constant hallucinations from Bowman. Even if they get picked off, it lets you know where your opponent's army is transitioning to. And it looks like he's doing a Zealot counterattack while defending at his 3rd, but Jennison looks like he's going to pick.
There's the cancel on the 3rd. Bowman needs to run this army down and counter across the map. I don't think he can macro out of this at this point.
Yeah, I mean, economically, things are not going to get better, although it looks like there's Zealots in the main as well. There's a recall from Jennison. See that 10 probes in total do go down, but again, you're right, that 3rd base is still so far ahead. Looking at the probe count, it's even, but when you have the extra base, it goes in favor of Jennison. Once again, this is going to start to get strange, though. He is continuing Phoenix production, which I really like, because I feel like compositionally, though, Bowman is at an advantage. I mean, he's already got the Phoenixes out to deal with the Disruptors, and just the raw punch of Zealot, Archon, and Immortals should be able to get through this. Oh, but Jennison's looking for a sneaky... Oh, he's looking for this.
Oh my... Oh, that was so close. That shot could have ended Bowman's army, but instead Bowman gets the kill on the Disruptor, and that's going to weaken up these Stalkers quite a bit. Now, +2 weapons are on the field for both players. I feel like that helps out Jennison a little bit more. He's going for a ton of Blink Stalkers, you know, as opposed to these heavy hitting units of Bowman. But we'll see.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to if he can get these disruptors to connect. It looks like there's a Zealot counterattack that might be ready to go into the third, but he's a little distracted right now as Jennison is just pouring the pressure onto that third. Okay, these Phoenixes are going to start to scout around a little bit, but if the Stalkers find them, they could take out all the Phoenixes, and that would be absolutely brutal for... Still, though, their ability to zone out that War Prism is immense. One gets picked off. I really think he should go into the third with those Zealots that he's got in the corner. Oh, here come the shots. Oh no, one hit, that's a huge hit. The second one does not look like we'll connect.
Yeah.
Oh, but here come DTs.
I mean,
DTs are going to go into the net. I don't think there's really any mobile detection in the bases here.
There's a disruptor being made at the Robo, but no observer.
Yeah.
Jennison walking the rest of his stalkers back across the map. And that said, the
Well, he's trying to deal
DTs
with
aren't target firing the probes, but...
Oh my gosh, will this DT get the third base? That would be huge. Looks like it will.
My God.
Third base goes down. Wow.
Jennison's just falling apart. He's just now starting up an observer. It's about halfway done. And in the meantime, Bowman's continuing to pump out damage. Perhaps not on the right targets, but every swipe is helping him get back in this game.
Yeah, oh my goodness, he can't... Okay, he's got the observer. He won't let him get the +3. Oh, he's gonna recall... Oh, I gotta kill him. That would have been sick. But now the +3 is done. Bowman's going up to a fourth. Jennison still hasn't rebuilt that third base. He still has a massive army, though. The question is can he get a lot done with it? He's got pretty much pure Blink Stalker Disruptor. And at this point, there are 6 Phoenixes. I don't know. This is going to be a little bit crazy. I think Jennison is the one with the impetus now to go get damage done. That's a lot of Disruptors. 5 and... Oh, it looks like we could about have that clash now. Here we go. Will Disruptors fire? Looks like they're going to get...
No, they get picked up right away. The Blink Stalker's trying to deal with this, but they aren't focus firing the Phoenix. Great lifts here from Bowman, and he's going to crash forward. There's just not enough here to engage for Jennison. He needs to retreat and come up with a big brain plan. The Disruptors keep getting picked off at the front. He's not firing the Novas.
Yeah, and now it's just Stalkers, and they just don't have the DPS for this many Immortals, this many Archons. Bowman's crashing across the map, and it looks like he has won game number 1 for Ris3n.
Our lives in the top right for Team Gosu. It's the pink Terran, Lyra.
And down in the bottom left-hand corner, the red Terran player representing Ris3n Competitive. It's Coda and Lyra? Lyra. I'm going Lyra. Ooh, interesting place to put your supply depot, Lyra. Gas first, Lyra. Oh, they're both going gas first. Never mind. Maybe I just don't know the TVT meta.
No, I actually don't know what's up with the supply depot back here.
Maybe it's so that if he has SCV scouts, he thinks it's a proxy?
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. Were it later in the game, you know, I'd say, okay, well, it's to see drops coming in early or something like that, but this is very weird building placement in general from Lyra, and it's got to be some kind of meta fake out. There's a second gas coming down, so this could be some type of weird factory play. I don't know, we have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not exactly sure where he's going to go with this, but I trust that he has a plan, and I think it's going to be up to Coda in this match to see if he has the answers. Alright. So far, the builds are mirrored, except for it looks like it's going to be an expansion for Coda. He's gonna see the factory timing. And that there are 2 gases. So there's actually an STV that's idling here for Lyra. He probably wants to get that in the gas ASAP. But Coda has the information. Now, I'm not even good enough to tell you what he's going to do with that information, but he has it.
You know, just to comment on that SCV that was idling next to the gas, that's actually pretty huge. That's going to delay Lyra's build here for maybe 6 or 7 seconds, which when you're at this high a level can, I mean, that can make a dramatic difference in how your play affects, you know, how your play is going to carry out throughout the game, and Lyra's clearly going to be the aggressor here, so the onus and pressure are already on him to do damage, and this is going to inhibit his ability to do so.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to get the command center down as well, so whatever it is, he's not fully committing to it. But it looks like there's the swap on the add-ons there for Coda. Probably going to go for Reactor Hellions, yup. So everything looking Normalsville here so far. The Stargates a little bit, or the Starports, sorry, a little bit ahead for Coda.
Tech Lab on the barracks.
Okay. So it's either to swap or... Huh. I'm guessing that's going to be to swap off to maybe the factory to get like a Cyclone and then go into tank production? I mean, I guess it could be Banshees, but I'm pretty sure Banshees are like relatively out of favor right now in TVT.
Well, there's a Tech Lab going down on the
how many people are getting
as well. Like, it's probably a Raven. Lyra also getting a Tech Lab up. He's going to put the factory right on there. And also getting a Tech Lab on the starport here. Okay, Lyra going into Cyclone, Coda also going into Cyclone. So it looks like we have pretty mirrored builds here.
Yeah, ooh, there's the Magfield accelerators. So the upgrade on the armor damage for the Cyclones here for Lyra, which would seem to imply either some sort of timing here or TVT Battle Mech. And I don't think Battle Mech is really that popular in TVT. Looks like Coda's going to go scout with this Reaper. He's getting a 3rd CC behind this as well. Oh, the lock on. Gotta shut that Reaper down, and here comes the aggression for... And this could be pretty scary. I mean, he's definitely got a pretty strong unit advantage here.
Yeah, he does. Do you have to call something out in the chat? Furious Droid saying, I can't imagine a match where Lyra isn't the better player. He's currently 0-1
Lyra
against
is very
Ris3n.
good. Well, and he's very good, but there are a lot of players that are better than all the players that will play today, right? Like
losing to a certain Renegade in Alpha Rookie, as I recall.
There's the auto turret drop. It looks like the lock-on's going to go out onto it. Coda's going to try and bust this and clear it out. Ooh, he gets the lock-on
that
the Cyclone.
Was pretty huge from Coda. I mean, there's no way Lyra pushes in here and gets damage done anymore. That would just be a huge sacrifice for no reason, so Lyra gonna have to back out. Worker count is even here. Army supply even on both sides as well. Lyra going for a 3rd CC, but Coda's already operational and becoming an orbital. It should move out here very shortly.
Yeah, I mean, economically, I think that Coda is pulling ahead a little bit here. Although it looks like it will be mech versus bio, and it looks like battle mech of all things in TVT. I didn't think that was a thing, but hey, maybe
yeah, it can work. Of course, you do need to anchor it with tanks, and there we go. We see Lyra getting out his first tank here. Coda pushing out to take his 3rd. Coda shooting ahead in the army supply, thanks to the damage he dealt to Lyra a little bit earlier, picking off that Cyclone, etc. But
it's going to be 2 Ravens to 1, and the Raven battle could often decide the war.
Quite a bit of energy stacking up on those 2 Ravens here for Lyra. Coda's going for a drop, but Lyra totally scouts this with the Reaper.
Yeah, but his units are out on the map, actually, and it looks like there's going to be an auto turret in the natural while the drop goes into the main as well. This could get a little bit dicey if he doesn't react. It looks like he pulls away in the natural, only going to lose 3 SCVs. Oh, but that's what the SCV was for. It soaks all the aggression from the Marines.
Yeah, Hero Supply Depot here from Lyra. What a storyline. An auto turret tries to pick off the meta deck and make sure the Marines don't drop the third, but Lyra is going to hold. However, he's eating more SCV damage.
Yeah, it looks like 9 SCVs in total will go down, and that's with a lot of mining time lost at the natural as well. Combine that with that Coda already had a little bit of an economic. He's got to be feeling pretty good about this so far. Okay, this is weird, right? A tank and 4 Marine drop heading towards the natural? That feels very risky to me.
Yeah, it's going to be super risky given that Lyra's going to have a tank sieged up. Coda's tank is just dead here with no damage done. Marines are going to be following shortly. Cyclone's targeting down the medevac.
Yeah, and he doesn't end up losing anything. I mean, that was a little bit weird. Oh, but it was just a distraction, it looks like. Well, but not even at the third. Lyra buckets up, defends that well, and I gotta say that was a little bit of a questionable play there, dropping the tank there for Code. Okay, though, it looks like he's getting ready to push at this third base. The tank count isn't that high yet for Lyra. It is only 4 tanks, and we're seeing a lot of Marauders come out here for Coda, and Marauders can really punch through that mech army, especially one that is a little oh, he's gonna pick off the Raven. Great pick there for... Looks like this drop might head into the main base while he tries to anchor himself out of position towards his third. Oh, Lyra's actually pushing out. He sees him pushing out. He's going to be so happy about this.
Very unfortunate timing here for Lyra. Cyclone is going to pick off one of these tanks. Oh, is it though? There's a Dorito cannon from Lyra, and just like we were saying, Ravens can totally turn the fight around, but it's still an uphill battle for the Pink Terran, I think. No, it's not. He's going to clean Coda up entirely.
Yeah, he cleans it up. Trades out 8 workers and a decent amount of his army, but I think that went pretty well for him overall. Although, once again, with mech, generally you want to build up towards a big, strong push. So anytime you're really trading out units, that's generally what the bio player wants to do, not the mech. Oh, look, he might catch him though.
Yeah, Coda coming in at a concave, gonna pick off a couple units. A tank tries to hold the line here for Lyra, but it's going to go down right away. 3 more Cyclones get evaporated. Down go the Hellbats. And Coda's going to storm into the third. There's 2 tanks responding. They are going to siege up, but there's a whole arc here where Coda can engage. He doesn't want to get hit by that tank fire, but he can sit right outside the range and shell down this third of Lyra. Lyra forced to pull the SCVs to repair it, and that's even more lost mining time. And the thing is, Coda is not trading very efficiently. He's actually trading very poorly. But he keeps getting farther and farther ahead in the worker count, keeps dropping mules, and keeps delaying this mining time, so he can just replenish behind it. In the meantime, Lyra's taking a beating and can't replenish his army.
Yeah, here comes a drop into the main at the same time, a double drop into the natural, but there's turrets here already! Oh no! Coda, you don't want to throw away too much army supply here, and it looks like a decent amount of it will get thrown away, but at the same time, there's units absolutely everywhere. This natural is getting ransacked a little bit by these Marauders. The main looks like it's going to be held.
Coda is just winning on all fronts. 15 SCVs going down. The force sent to clean up the double drop in the main is getting obliterated. 2 tanks going down to like 3 Marauders. And Coda still is sitting in the net, cleaning up more and more workers. 25 going down for Lyra. So it's a 40 worker lead for Coda here. As he takes a 4th behind this, he's going to have that morphed into the planetary by the time Lyra can counterattack. There's no macroing out of this for Lyra. He needs to make a move. He needs to make it soon. But the problem is, Coda's already replenished all that lost army supply. He's up 65 to 50. And he's going on the attack once again.
Oh, he's going to get sieged up on this high ground. That's going to make it very difficult for Lyra to engage on him or mine this base. More SCVs getting cleared out. And remember, Lyra's down to 32 workers. He's relatively economically hamstrung at this point. He needs trades, and he needs great trades. Oh my goodness. 10 more SCVs go down. Coda once again going into the main. I think at this point he probably wants to just consolidate his army to defend and counterattack, but he is just so far ahead.
a lot of these mech units very softened up that are remaining on the field here for Lyra. I think he needs to spend some time repairing and then just go, because it's getting worse and worse and worse with him. He lost another dozen SCVs in that engagement, and Coda has an entire wave headed back out. This is like a MOBA, man. He just keeps clearing Lyra's creeps, keeps pushing into the towers, trading off, and he has more where that came from once the initial attack evaporates.
Yeah, 17 Marauders on the field. He's building them 6 at a time. That's just so much of a punch. This army of Coda packs, and it looks like he might be going for a Doom Drop into the main here, Renegade. Okay, Lyra is going to scout it with these Helling. He's going to see this coming. What can he do about it? He's going to try and get in position with his Cyclones, but they might be able to skirt around the edge. That's going to be a lock-on. That should be 2 dead Medivacs. That's a huge pick for him, but he's not in position for when these get in here. Oh, there is a few tanks in the main, actually. He should be okay.
As huge as that is, like, Coda is still trading cost-effectively, given both players' economies. 3 tanks go down in the main to just 2 Medivacs.
Yeah, shredding more SCVs over at the 4th as well. Oh my goodness. Once again, the only thing that worries me here for Coda is that he's kind of petering his units out and not letting himself build up much of a standing army. Meaning, if Lyra can break out of this pressure, there's a chance he can kind of mount a counterattack after cleaning up Coda's army, which is a little bit disheveled.
But look how injured these units are. A couple of the Hellbats going to go down up front. Those Marauders do get picked off, but Lyra doesn't have enough to push into this force of Coda, and the Hellbats are way too far ahead of the tanks. 3 more of them go down.
Yeah, and all he has to do is posture for this engagement, and that slows Lyra down a ton. And the more it slows him down, the more units Coda can get out for him. Okay, it looks like Coda might be going for the attack here. He's dropping his bio on one side, eating up some of the tank shots while clearing up the rest. It looks like that's going to be the rest of Lyra's tanks that go down. But he's still got 4 Cyclones. 3-3 on the way as well here for Coda. That's going to be nice. Get a little bit more punch for his bio units. And we see that Lyra hasn't even been able to afford the 2-2 of his army just because of how much pressure he's been under. Looks like Coda's going to try and stim into the natural here, but there are no siege tanks. Looks like Lyra's going to try and back up and get one sieged up, but it will go down to more. Some Cyclones are going to get bled out.
No, they're rallied into the Marauders. Oof. Lyra did clean up the aggression at the 4th, but there's even more reinforcements coming across from Coda. He has 1,000 gas in the bank as well. This is just a desperate situation here for the Pink Terran.
Yeah, I mean, he's in all sorts of trouble here as the bio is rampaging into his natural. Coda is going to take them. Mirror matchups are fun, and honestly, that was a tremendously fun TVT to watch. Action all over the place, different compositions.
Who is Swarmonomics' portrait? Is that why?
I think so. All right, spawning down in the bottom right-hand corner here on Nightshade. It's going to be the teal Zerg player representing Ris3n competitive. It's Swarmonomics.
And in the top left, as the blue Terran, it's Kirby.
Kirby. I love that name, dude. Even though Kirby is like the biggest asshole in the original Super Smash Brothers, I still like it. It's still, and that goes to a testament to Kirby as a character, that Kirby can be tremendously annoying, and you still like him.
Bro, I main Kirby in Smash Ultimate.
Ah, that doesn't show in Smash Ultimate. Oh, I haven't really played that one much. Is he still annoying?
Oh, I mean, if you consider eating people jumping off the stage at the last stack and then
that is exactly what I
so they die
consider
before
annoying.
You do. That's then yes.
All right, cool. Well, we know what type of person Renegade is, but maybe we knew all along. But anyway, enough goofing around. This is got to be a little bit tense here for Kirby. I mean, he's a very good player himself. I think I've played him a few times, and I don't think I've ever beaten him. Even when I was playing a lot, he's just a very quality player. But MMR-wise, Swarm does have a small edge on him. And Swarm was talking to me earlier today about how confident he feels, especially in ZVT.
Yeah, Swarm is definitely a player that can get tilted, that, you know, you can get under his skin and he'll just play 1,000 MMR below where he is. But that doesn't, you know, both you and I talked to Swarm before the match, and that doesn't feel like the Swarm we're getting here tonight. Kirby is a preparation Terran. I'm sure he has a build up his sleeve. I know he likes his bio play. As a matter of fact, we're going to see a second barracks right away. So, it's definitely going to be bio from him, but I think he's going against a full force Swarm tonight.
Yeah, Swarm is one of those guys that when he brings it hard. And if he's feeling it, like it sounded like he was feeling it, I think that this could be difficult for Kirby. But like you said, a Terran that has a build prepared always has a chance, you know? Looks like he's going to try and get some Ling harassed on. He might actually... Oh, nope, not going to get a Zergling.
Yeah, I feel like a little bit of a mistake to back off there, but Fog of War really sucks.
Yeah, and let's be real, I know this, I've been playing a little bit Terran recently. It's very hard to micro your Reaper and actually macro like you're supposed to back at home. Oh, can he deny this? Oh, loses the Reaper and the tumor stays up. That's got to be a little bit tilting right off.
My question is, does Kirby know that Swarm has not taken a... Well, okay, no, he has.
Taken the other third, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's still a good point, though. If he's checking that SCV and popping back in and being like, all right, when's the third? When's the third? He might freak out a little bit here and be like, oh, I don't have the Reaper. I can't reliably get quite as good scouting information. I might need to be very careful that there's like a Nidus or something crazy coming his way, you know? But so far, it looks like it's going to be... I mean, this looks like just like a 2-1-1, right? This looks exactly like a 2-1-1.
Yeah.
The 16 Marine drop. An oldie but a goodie, a classic build, but one that most Zerg players have seen a number of times just because of how popular it was when it was in the meta.
Swarm has OV speed almost finished here. He's popping out queens. Where's our tech from Swarmonomics here? We're past the 4-minute mark. There's no lair on the way. There's no Baneling Nest.
Yeah, it looks like he might just be relying on Lings and a shit ton of queens. That can work, but it can also get a little bit dicey. He's going to go in, he's going to see that many Marines, and immediately Swarm should know what he's going up against, and I would think probably try and get a Baneling.
Yeah.
Or more drones.
I mean, the 16 Marine is primarily here to clean up creep, but there is a scenario where Kirby boosts into the main, gets a lot of damage done, and boosts out, and that's the scenario Swarm doesn't want. He doesn't want to engage these Marines in a choke. He doesn't want to engage them without the queens. And here, Kirby goes.
Yeah, he's boosting across the map. Now, it doesn't look like he's angled towards the main. It looks like he's going to be going with the much safer option there of trying to clear out the creep. But even still, that can be very, very strong tool to control the Zerg from just exploding out onto them. It looks like 12 more Lings are going to come out. 16 now for Swarm. He is going to have, I think, enough queens to reliably zone this. Here we go.
I mean, Kirby is not going to get that forward creep tumor, so it really didn't push the creep back. He loses the medevac as well.
Yeah, and that really cuts into how much longevity this has. He cannot get out of here with all of these Marines. There he goes, another scan used to clear out that tumor. But so far, I think that went favorably for Swarm.
Swarm cheesing out an extra 5-ish workers there as well. Yeah, you usually want to stop around 45, but he got away with 49. He's going to take...
And he's about to be at 50.
Yeah. It's,
Greedy boys Swarm. Now it looks like Kirby's going to continue the pressure. Another medevac full of Marines going to join this. Is there a Baneling Nest down? There's no Baneling Nest. Okay.
Yeah, just the lair started up for Swarm. He did go for +1. He did go for Carapace here, but I mean, still defending with Ling Queen.
Oh, don't want to bleed out too many Zerglings there, Swarm. He's been quite greedy, I feel like, this game so far. Now he needs to be careful. He's going to target down those medevacs to take out the kind of the staying power of this push, but there's a lot of Marines here. These queens are going to try to clear everything up. More Lings are on the way soon, but he's starting to bleed out drones.
He tried to fight with the drones here, but like they got stuck behind the queens. They weren't mineral walking, so the queens get evaporated. A lot of the wings going to go down before they can group up, and this is a nightmare scenario for any Zerg. Swarm is expanding to the normal third location, and a lot of these Marines are pretty overstimmed. But Kirby's still trying to get
in
the
this
kill.
nook, and there's no banelings. There's no banelings to bust him out of this nook. Now they are very, very low, so a queen might be able to come over here and pop 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean,
looks like
Kirby just kind of forgot about these guys. They're focusing an extractor or something. I don't know. Down they all go to a single queen. But 2 more medevacs on the way. That's what our blue Terran is really focused on. And they're going to drop off creep and try to do what their brethren could not in killing this third base.
1-1 is now done for these Zerglings, so that's going to make them a lot more effective. But still, Swarm getting some of his Lings caught out. They're going to go down right away, and now this is once again gets dangerous for him. The queen count isn't as high as it once was. He's got to go in now, but there's so many Marines. Oh no, wait, the surround. Okay, there we go. A good clean there. It looks like he's going to try and go into the natural, see if he can get any more damage done here. The Lings are going to get the full clean. Medevac goes down. Alright, the third is now getting landed. He's not mining from it yet, but he's going to get that sorted. Swarm has a 4th now. He's getting 2-2 and Spire. How do you feel about the Spire play in this specific scenario?
I think it could deal a lot of damage. Kirby traded out a lot of his Marine supply, you know, that's going to continue to rise as the Spire builds, and you and I both know how long it takes a Spire to build, but, there's no missile turrets down here for Kirby. If he's caught by a surprise, it could pick off 1-2 tanks and change the entire equation. It could pick off Marines one at a time and just cause the damage to add up, force Kirby to spend time building missile turrets. And I think Swarm really needs to do this. He definitely took a beating during those medevac drops. Here comes a Link Flood for Swarm. That tank's a little exposed.
He's going to see it, though. It's going to fly immediately into creep. That's very good. And once the mutas kind of get out, I feel like the drop style is going to be a lot more difficult to really get anything done with, because pretty much the Zerg can actually start punishing it. And also, once 2-2 and Baneling speed finishes, those straight-up engagements for Swarm are going to start being a lot more.
Swarm setting up a possibility where he can come in from multiple angles here on this handful of Marines. He actually decides to back up and defend the third. I don't think Kirby's going to dive that greedily and deeply, but...
Yeah, looks like Swarm's going to move to push him off now. He doesn't want to lose all his... And that's exactly what Kirby wants to be doing with these Marines at this stage of the game, is just deny the... 2-2 going to finish shortly. There's going to be a short window of an upgrade lead here for... And now those mutas are out, so if he can force a pickup here, he might just be able to pick off these medevacs.
50 more Lings hitting the field here for Swarm.
That's a lot of Zerglings. Ooh, he's going to pick off a Stray Queen now. Is Kirby. That's a good...
Could you imagine if Kirby had 3 Widow Mines, though?
Yeah. Oh. Looks like he's going to try and relocate, but now the mutas are going to shark around. Oh, he needs to get on these units. Counterattack from Swarm looks like it got pushed away, but now he's going to start putting the pressure on. Oh, you got to kill your Zerglings. Doesn't want to bleed out the mutas here. Looks like he's going to get the Marines, though. In the end, he should be able to clean this up. Hive just now finishing 8 more mutas inbound. And Kirby's going to try and start to establish his 4th, but look how far forward, at least on the top side, this creep has been. His creep is almost at the Terran 4th base, and that's a good spot to...
Swarm has Hive Tech on the field. He's going for +3 Carapace here, morphing in a few more Banelings. Kirby, I don't think, has the ability to defend a 4th yet. He's getting up the planetary, getting up the missile turrets, but Swarm should strike well before that finishes, and indeed he will, getting a full surround on the planetary.
Ooh, well, he hits in the natural with the mutas as well. Oh my good. Ooh, and he's doing some devastating damage back in the natural. It looks like a goodly chunk of SCVs are going to go down. 13 in total. While he kills that 4th, this is going to put Kirby in a lot of pressure.
And you can see that pressure. Kirby is sitting far out onto the map. He's making his move. It would take Swarm throwing into a siege tank line at this point for him to lose the game.
Oh, but there are a lot of tanks sieging up on this high ground. Ooh, a huge counterattack into the third base of Kirby. While this happens, though, things are about to get intense. I think we might be approaching the climax of this game as the mutas start to chip away at the tanks. This is madness, Renegade.
All Swarm has to do is keep pressuring these tanks, keep half the Marines back, keep them split. He has more than enough Lingbane to hold here. As he continues DPSing down Kirby, Kirby has stabilized somewhat though, but he shells his own tank down. Just a little unfortunate. Still a Ling here bleeding off SCVs. It should get 2 kills.
Oh no, the tanks, they're left alone. The mutas are just going out to town.
Rip.
Oh, he's gonna pick off so many. 47 SCVs have gone down in the background. Swarm is still maxed. And Kirby, he's played a good game, but it looks like he might just be starting to run out of... Ooh, a Ling even picking off mules in the background as well. Kind of striking at the last bit of economy that Kirby has remaining. Swarm just mobbing this army. Pardon the pun, but he swarmed it. Everything goes down. GG is called, and Ris3n Competitive is going to their 2nd consecutive semi.
Born from the